Alright, guys, today I'm going to talk to you about hangovers. And this one's hitting a little personal because I've had some insane hangovers. And, I'm talking 2, 3 days where I didn't know I was going to make it to the other side type hangovers. And what I want to do is go through, what works, what doesn't work, and why as you get older, it's a better idea to just avoid getting hungover. So I know it sucks to hear. It's not what I want to hear. I wish I didn't have to give you that message, but whether that's not drinking at all, which I can't say I partake in at this point, or just finding your limit to where you can have, 2 or 3 beers and not be hungover the next day. And I want to be clear, this video isn't going to be a fix for hangovers because, that just doesn't exist. If it did, I'd be a billionaire. Someone would be a billionaire. The truth is there isn't one fix to a hangover. There's multiple things you can do that can help, and then there's things that you might have heard you can do that actually hurt. So I want to go over those as well. And then I also just want to say, I've always gotten really hungover, and that seems like a curse, and some of you guys can relate probably, but I think it's actually a blessing. I know I read once there was a study where if you don't get hungover, your chance of becoming an alcoholic is super high. And that's obviously not good because alcohol is like the number one leading death in America right now. And it's honestly poison in general. So that aside, I just want to say, it really matters how you look at things in life. And that's something I've looked at where, it's like in the moment it sucks. It's like, why do I feel like actual death? But you got to remember, there's people who don't get hungover, and I know that sounds amazing, but that actually ends up, multiplying your risk of having an alcohol addiction and having these health-related issues by tenfold. And I could say personally, if I didn't get hungover, I would probably drink a lot more. So just, a quick tidbit. I don't want to get sidetracked. I just want to say, perspective. All right, so you wake up, your mouth is dry. Your first thought is holy shit, water, and you're probably still a little drunk. So I can't tell you how many times I've spawned in this situation, right? Your body's begging for help because you just poisoned it for hours, the night before. And if you're still drunk, this is something I've learned, then you're really in for a terrible day. So if you're already starting the hangover, it still sucks. But if you're still drunk, take your ass back to bed. That's my advice to you. So the obvious things, hydration, number one. So that just goes without saying. You don't need me to tell you that. Some people don't know, though, is you need electrolytes. So whether that's Gatorade, Liquid IV, salt, you just put salt in water. You can't just drink water because your body doesn't have electrolytes. So you're not actually going to hydrate properly without water. So that's obvious. If you're a big coffee drinker, I'm a huge coffee guy, you got to just probably avoid it for that morning. Maybe later on you can have it, but I've noticed when I'm hungover, I drink coffee and I feel worse. Now, if you're in a situation where you can just go back to bed, then that's what you should do. I'd say 9 times out of 10. Sleep is the best cure. So chug a bunch of water, go back to sleep. But I know that, most situations, whatever, you have something to do that day, you're, let's say you live with your parents, then you're really cooked. You got to get up and just snap out of it, right? So in that case, go to the gym. So you need to, the one of the only cures, known anecdotes to being hungover is getting your adrenaline levels up, right? So you can get, a half-assed workout in. It doesn't need to be some David Goggins shit, but just get in the gym, get a little sweat going, and then hit, whether you have a steam room, a sauna, you need to sweat out the toxins while actively hydrating. So bring a water bottle in there and just zone out for a little. And I don't know the science behind this, if it's even true, but I do know it makes you feel better. So get in there, raise your body temperature up. Personally, I love the steam room because it just I feel always when I'm hungover, I'm dry, and it just really undoes that with the humid air, right? So you'll probably still feel like shit at this point. And again, this is if you can even get out of bed. So if you can't get out of bed, you just need to sleep until you can. But Here's the actual kicker, and this is out of everything I'm going to say in the video, this is the one thing over the years that I've come to the conclusion actually helps, and that's taking a cold shower. So it's gonna be like, whoa, it's gonna be like a shock to the system. Your adrenaline's gonna spike, you're gonna be like breathing really fast, and the science behind this one, I actually know, is due to the adrenaline spike in your body from the going from the hot to the cold that actively combats a hangover. And I can say this with science to back it and just personal experience to back it. This is true, right? So I've gotten out of some dark places doing this, and I definitely recommend doing it. Cold showers are honestly something you should be doing even when you're not hungover. It's known to spike, your dopamine and your levels of just feeling good. So, unrelated, that's the main thing that I can tell you with 100% confidence you need to do when you're hungover. And again, getting out of your bed, getting out of your house is huge. So that's why you just need to get your ass into the gym. So I have sat in my bed and rotted for full days after drinking, and it prolongs the hangover, and it really sets you up for failure for the entire week. So like, let's say you wake up on a Sunday, you're cooked Monday, Tuesday, at least I am, if I'm just sitting there for 12 hours straight. And another thing that I just want to say, I used to be a huge believer in when I was in college, is smoking weed to combat the hangover. And I don't know if it's just when you're younger the hangovers aren't as bad, but as I gotten older, it is not true, right? So I mean, everyone's body reacts differently to things, but I have tried this so many times, and I was in denial at first, but finally it just hit me in the face. It's like, this is not helping, this is hurting, it's making me like just more anxious. I'm already super anxious from the hangover, and it just isn't a good idea. And I mentioned earlier in this video that it gets to a point where it's better to just avoid even getting to the hangover stage, and that's because as you get older, especially as you start to build your confidence, your bank account grows, and you have a professional job, a business, whatever it is, you get older and you can almost feel hangovers and getting drunk and just acting reckless. You can feel that negatively affecting your full week. And I've been in places, times in my life where maybe I don't have that much confidence, and I'm in the gym working on myself and working on my professional experiences and whatever, and then I'll go out, I'll overdo it with the drinking, and then I'll wake up, wreck a day. It prolongs. Even when your body's not hungover, your confidence kind of gets shattered for a while. Like, I'm talking a couple days to even a week if it's a really bad hangover, like if you really overdid it. And this is just something that is now true for me. It's not even debatable. So I've noticed if I can go long periods of time without getting drunk or overdoing it or drinking at all, I just like, my confidence is higher, my self-esteem is higher, I'm stronger, faster. It's just weird. So it's something you start to notice, and that's why I think it's better to just avoid getting to this place. That's not to say I still don't find myself hungover. Like, literally last week I was hungover and it was terrible. But yeah, guys, I just feel like health effects aside of alcohol, we all know it's terrible for you. It's going to poison your body. It's also just mentally, going through a hangover has such an effect on self-image, confidence. Like, you wake up and you're like, oh my God, what did I do last night? Like, that wasn't even me. And these feelings carry on even when you're recovered from the hangover. So that's why I just want to say, like, as you get older, it becomes really like a risk reward. Is it actually worth it? Is it, align with where I'm at right now? So I don't know, just some things to think about. No, by no means am I telling anyone what to do. Like I said, I'm still getting hungover here, so I'm not on like a moral high point, but I do think it's worth discussing. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for all the comments, the subscribers. I really didn't realize that these videos would affect people. I've gotten some really nice comments from you guys, so thank you. And yeah, guys, I'll see you on the other side. Peace.